I jump in and then I look up. I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy's big. He's humongous, man. He's covered the whole gap. I'm like, how the hell I'm gonna go around this dude? So he planted me down like a coconut tree. Boom! I have one of those. I can feel it, man. He just pancaked me down. I was like, man, he's not gonna do this to me again. I start making some move on him, a little shake, and I beat him. I beat him pretty good. He's angry at this time. And then all of a sudden, boom! He ran over and hit me from the back. We go at it. We start fighting. And I'm brand spanking new. Coach Viducci came over and talked to me. When I tell you stop, and then I didn't stop in that crazy trying to surviving mode. I was like, man, I don't even care if these guys are all American or whatever. So I pushed him away, and that didn't go well because Coach Fry blew the horn, and he's walking towards me because it was a big fight. I see him walking straight to me, and then I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna kick me off the team right now for fighting. And I'm like, that's it. I gotta go call my girlfriend and my daughter. I'm scared. He's walking over, my heart's still beating. And then when he got closer to me, he leaned over. He said, that's how you play football, son. That's how you play football. But when my assistant tell you to do something, you listen. Do you understand? He turned around, he called Ross over, and then he tapes our hand together, right? He says, go take a lap until I tell you guys stop. Not even 10 yards away. We already go at it again. We fight again. All the stuff came off.
Welcome to the Gallery and Hurley Unfiltered podcast, Iowa Football Rewind.
Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast player to get a behind-the-scenes look that you won't find anywhere else.
All right, tonight we are excited to have Epenesa Epenesa, former defensive lineman from the Iowa Hawkeyes from 1995 to 1997. Epi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is, in your wildest dreams, did you think you would have a son that's in the NFL, another son that's a freshman at Iowa, and have this family success in sports and football in general?
No, never couldn't even picture that way back in the day. And it's pretty unreal. Yeah. So it's such a blessing what's going on right now with our crew, my family, my kids. It's hard to picture that from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a daughter that was a successful volleyball player too.
Yes, Sam was at Purdue. It was hard to believe that too, but I love Purdue forever since they're the one that gave her the opportunity. That's another story too. It's crazy how that works from the recruiting, because she was my kid that was over at our practices when Hayden Fry was there. She's the one that Coach Austin was my position coach, and his manager is the one that always watched Sam, waiting for me to finish conditioning and run and practice. And then I'll take her because my wife have to go to class. It's weird because Iowa never looked at her. She was one of the best volleyball player in the Midwest. And Iowa State was like camping in front of my front door. They always at Sam's game. And then even the coach told the Iowa State volleyball coach, hey, before you even start this, do you know where their family went to school? When they told her Sam's parents both went to Iowa. And then they're sad about it. But I'm glad that Purdue gave her the opportunity, and we're blessed to have Coach Shondell in our life and to give my daughter a opportunity to play the game she loves in college level.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And also the loyalties of college football and sports too. You have a really unique story. You were originally from American Samoa. So take us back there. What it was like growing up, the sporting atmosphere, and walk us through that whole piece of growing up on an island.
Yeah, no problem. All my life, I grew up in the South Pacific in a small island of American Samoa, south of Hawaii. It's about 60,000 people that lives there, which is bring me back to more people in Kinnick than people were the island I came from. And I started my journey. I almost go to the military. Most of my friends and everybody there, that was their outing, trying to get away from the island, leave the island. That's their ticket to get out, is go to the military. This is before getting really big like today. Nobody even, none, maybe a small percentage that the children and the kids or any football players from there that goes to college, but there was a Samoan coach that was coaching in Iowa Wesleyan. His name is Mike Fanoga, pronounced Mike Fanoga, and he's the guy that came to the island and recruit all these these kids from the island to bring it up to Iowa Wesleyan. So there was about 16, 17 of us actually. Where there's kids from Hawaii, there's kids from Tonga, there's kids from Fiji, and there's kids from Samoa. Most of them were Samoan kids that they all went to Iowa Wesleyan with this Samoan coach. He was a D-line coach there. The starting of this is that I have two of my classmates that came up to Iowa Wesleyan, and then they're the one that when the coach returned back to the following year, I didn't leave right away after I graduated in '91 to come up. I stayed back thinking of going to the military, trying to take all those tests, the SVAP, everything, trying to find a way to get out. My family didn't have any money to pay, but my dad was the only one that have the financial stuff for my family, and there's 7 of us. I'm the youngest of 7, so I'm the last guy coming through for my family, and we're trying to get to the somewhere, and I was trying to find something to do at the end of my high school season, and then so I came up to visit my family in Oceanside, and then one of my aunties there, which is my mom's sister, which is the mom of that quarterback in Colorado, Sal Onese, the quarterback in Colorado. He's my first cousin. So when I came up, my man's name was pretty huge in California and everywhere for college football. So my auntie's the one who told me that, why are you going to the military? You should go to college like your cousin Sal and do something about it. I heard you're pretty good at football. Why don't you go do that? And then I I think about it hard. So when I returned back home, definitely changed my mind, because my mom always tells me, man, you don't need to go to the military. You should go to school, whatever. So I made up my mind when I came back from California to go home, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't go to college right away after high school. I came in '92 when I came up to Mount Pleasant. So that's when I figured maybe I'll go and try this college thing and then see where it's going to take me. My friend that was up there, his name is Doug Elisaya. He's the guy who gave my tape to that Samoan coach that coached at Iowa Wesleyan and told him, hey, you should go get this kid. He found out that I didn't go to the military. You should go get this guy. And then when he came over, he came into my house and asked my parents that he's here to recruit me and he want me to come to Iowa Wesleyan to play football. So
Do you even know where Iowa Wesleyan was?
I don't know. I have no idea. I never left Samoa to go to the United States. I never been to the United States. I only been to Hawaii for an all-star game, but I never even leave my family. I was 18 at the time, all dark everywhere. I don't even know what's up in life. but didn't know I was going to go to college. So I that Samoan coach brought me to Iowa Wesleyan. When I got to Iowa Wesleyan, I didn't even get accepted right away. It's because my grades was not high enough to be accepted in college. So I do some night classes and then work a job and then try to get in. It was pretty rough during those days, and trying to be accepted into college, thinking I was going to come up, but my grades from high school didn't even very get me very far. Finally, get to get in. I got in, and it was one of those deals, man. I've been hungry for that. I've been hungry for football. I wanted to do it so much that I I wasn't even pay attention. Like I said, my grades was not very good from high school because I wasn't even pay attention into that part of me. I only pay attention on sports that I play. When I finally figured out, oh man, if I don't take care of these classes at Iowa Western, I will never play. And then my parents are sending me here to find a good future for my family and then for me. So I start pay attention and I start do a lot of things that I need to do to trying to get in and stay and play. And then figure it out, man. You got to have amazing grades, which is what I carry it on and pass it along to my kids, man. I was like, you don't want to be struggle like what I did, man. You guys got to take care of it now from junior high all the way to high school to do amazing. And for you to get an opportunity to play any level of football, you got to have awesome grades. And I finally get a chance to play at Iowa Wesleyan. And then, of course, when I start playing, I was setting records and then I was doing good. I was killing it. I was killing it, put it that way.
Did you miss 2 seasons before you actually got to play, or was it 1 season?
No, it's just a semester in Iowa Wesleyan. It's because I'm trying to stay and trying to get those grades up. And I'm glad I did. I play and did really good at Iowa Wesleyan. I made both of those years. I was All-American at Iowa Wesleyan because I was killing it. I have a lot of sacks over there at Iowa Wesleyan. And then the coach that I have, the D-line coach, so the Samoan coach transferred after my first year. He was trying to take me to Valdosta with him. So after the first year, they left. Him and all the other coaches left to go to Valdosta University. And then I told them I want to stay here because I knew I got something good is rolling right now. So I stayed back. So after my second year at Iowa Wesleyan, I was doing really good, but I met this baseball player. His name is Judd. I met him and he told me that, hey, do you ever think about going into Division One? I didn't know the difference between division at the time. I thought this is it. This is where I'm going to go. And then he said, my auntie is Amy Thomas at Iowa. There's an 800 number here. You can call it, and then maybe you can try up there. My man was a baseball player at Iowa Wesleyan. He told me this. All these kids, but I didn't know anything. It's because I came from an island, not even knowing nothing. So when my man told me to call, so I call Amy, and Amy connect me with Coach Austin, John Austin. And he was a D-line coach at Iowa at the time. And then I was trying to ask him, don't know anything, but I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. I got this number. I just want to see if there's an opportunity I can come up and visit and check out the next division of the game. And he says, this weekend, there's practices. You are welcome to come. I put your name on the list, and then you can come check out practice. And then I have the D-line coach that I have after the Samoan guy. His name is Jim Cox. He's a Hall of Fame coach for the state of Iowa. He was a high school coach, one of the high school up in Iowa, and then he was the guy. So he was my D-line coach, and then he offered to drive me. He's another guy that always tells me, dude, I don't think you belong here. You got to go try somewhere else. You got to. And then there are all these people. I've been thinking, man, why are these folks keep on encouraging me? Is there another level of football? Is there like something different than where I'm at? I thought this place right here is awesome. They gave me free shoes, free shorts, but they're NAIA Division One. And then I'm like, man, they got me 3 shirts, everything, man. We don't even get any free things from the island. But Iowa Wesleyan hooked me up with some cleats, some shoes. I'm like, wow, man. And then when I found out there's another level of football, another division is higher than Division One. So I'm like, oh, okay. So
You're
that
wondering why they weren't playing USC anytime soon.
And here you thought the people just didn't like you. Like, we're just trying to get rid of this guy. Get him out of town.
I know, man. I didn't even know this, but I'm like, okay. The coach that I have, the Jim Cox is his name, and he said, man, don't worry, I'll drive you. I didn't have a car. I didn't know how to get to Iowa, but that coach right there offered to drive me to every Division One closer to Mount Pleasant, Iowa. We started our adventure before we went to that Iowa practice. We went to Iowa State. He took me up there to Iowa State. So we went and visited Iowa State. And then the Iowa State D-line coach there is screw me. He's a Samoan guy. His name is Sam Papali. I remember his name. And then when we went to visit up there, this guy was telling me that it usually it's not legal for you to come here and do whatever he was trying to tell me, meaning I figured out he didn't want me to come over there at all, which is I'm glad, I'm happy I didn't go, because he was trying to find a way for me to get in, but he says we only get you here for unscheduled visit, so we can only walk you here to the track, and that's it. So we went all the way up there just to do all that. But I didn't know anything about rivalry of Iowa and them. I'm just trying to find an opportunity to go to the next level of the game or whatever division. After that weekend, and then we went and visit Iowa, me and Coach Cox. We walk in, I got to meet Amy, of course, and then they hooked me up with Coach Austin. And then from there on, it's pretty crazy how they met me in the office. But at the time, I was stoked up, man. I wasn't as big as me after Iowa time, but I was like pretty good looking at the time for me to trying to get somewhere. I was pretty strong coming in. Coach Fry and then John Austin, I remember they came over and start touching my body. They start touching my arms, start touching me. And they were like, wow, man, where you been? Where's this guy been, man? They find out my name, and then Coach Fry then figured out maybe he can make a name for me. I told him my name is Epenesa Epenesa. I told him the reason why I was named after my grandfather, and my grandfather is the last name of the family. And then it's pretty common up in Samoa, where I'm from, American Samoa. And my man says, okay, like your name is like first name and the second name is the same. Yeah. And then he says, oh yeah, Pete and repeat. And so, yeah, sure. My men start calling me that name from there on out. He always called me Pete and repeat. And then that's where that whole nickname came from, when he first met me and he found out my name, and he started doing all that to me when I was in the secretary's office. Up in the old facility, you go up on top and then you meet all the secretaries there. That's where he met me at. And then they said, we're going to go to practice, and gave me instruction what's going to happen, which is great. So I went to walk through practice at the bubble, walk into the bubble, and then start watching practice, and then start from the beginning there. When you first walk in, those roundabout door and then walk in. You check it out from the beginning. I'm like, oh man, receiver, whatever. But I was anxious to see the linemen, right? So I'm like, man, I want to see the linemen. If I want to play here, I want to check it out. And it was right on time when we got there. They're about to do 101. So I'm like, oh shoot, this is gonna be awesome. So I went over there and watched. The whole time I'm watching this, I've been trying to break down everybody's deal. I'm trying to say, oh man, I think I can play here. The whole time I've been like, I think I can play here. And then it goes to a lot of guys. They're talking. Somebody else was hosting. I forgot who was there hosting. They keep saying he's the next guy up. He's an all Big Ten guy. And then they go against somebody. I'm like, wow. So all Big Ten, what does that mean? You say it's like an All American deal. So I'm like, he's an All American. I think I can beat him. In my mind, I'm like, I'm trying to set myself into those areas. I was like, man, I think I can beat this guy. I think I can beat. Okay, he calling him an All American. I think I can beat him. In my head, I'm trying to figure all this and watching and trying to enjoy the first time I ever seen the highest level of the game, which is I didn't know there's another level than where I was in Iowa Wesleyan, coming from the island. So it was pretty interesting. After all, we went to sit down with coaches and Coach Austin and Coach Fry, and then they were telling me that I got to apply, and then every scholarship was given out, and then the only thing is open is for walk on, for me to come and then show them that I can play football and show them that I can belong at Iowa, and then we'll go from there. So there you go. I'm like, okay, all right, that's what I need to do. So I came back home, told my wife about it, which is my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, they offer me this, and then I really want to go up there. It looks so great. It looks good, way better than here. And then maybe we'll go and check it out. And I'm trying to get all my grades. Now I try to get the grades and see if I transfer all the grades I have and see what they said. Of course, when they came back, Coach Austin called back and said, the grades are in. And they gave it to our academic people, and you got accepted into the University of Iowa. Oh my gosh. I was in heaven. I was so excited. Me and my wife, girlfriend at the time, we were so excited for me. She even baked me a cake. Congratulations to me. It was Hawkeye football. I remember it's black and gold. She baked me a Hawkeye cake. Congratulations for getting accepted at the University of Iowa. And then there you go. That's when I'm like, man, oh, damn, reality just set in. And then I'm like, man, I'm going to go take this opportunity. And it's all about faith, believe in God at the same time. That opportunity don't come very often, but it was an unreal experience going through that. Been going through a lot of hard stuff trying to get in, academically, at the same time trying to get into these football and try to show all these folks that I can play the game, I can play some football. It was a long road before I even start comparing to a lot of people, a lot of athletes that I met at Iowa. They're pretty good coming in from high school, and then nobody even knew who I was until that Samoan coach came back and then trying to get me from the island. So I was thinking back after Coach Austin told me I was accepted into the University of Iowa, and I'm like so psyched and so excited to come and show all the coaches that I can play football. It was pretty awesome, awesome feeling getting accepted into the University of Iowa and get to come and report it in to the University of Iowa. So I was one of the first, probably the only walk-ons that came in with the scholarship kids. When you guys reported in 95, I was probably the only one that reported in with everybody. I probably just D-line. I'm sure I don't remember the other guys that was walk on at the time, but I knew I was the only one that they invited me in just to check me out, which is it was a special feelings for me to special thinking feeling that I'm like, wow, they got me in with all the guys that have scholarships. Okay. So I came in there and then I start running with the boys, got to bond with everybody, and then it was such an amazing experience forever. Coming into the University of Iowa, got to do all that with people that was blue chip, whatever it is, from high school coming in, and then here I am, the guy from the island that nobody knew that came in and trying to make it. That's for sure. This is before we even start there, and then it was such a good feeling just to be there and do all that.
How did it work at Iowa Wesleyan? Were you paying your way, or did you have a scholarship or partial scholarship?
At Iowa Wesleyan, I had a partial. So I had a partial that it was all working into some of the work studies and everything else that is all end up to connect with the whole thing, which is great. And then I start doing good my first year, and then I got to learn through the way how to get in and try to talk to the coaches about it, and then see if they can race it up since I was doing pretty good, and then I start asking them about I I don't have anything. I was just trying to figure it out and see if they can help me out in that way to get it done, get something to help me to stay here. And then those guys help me get some of that money and then do work study at the same time, financial aid and all that stuff. Bell Grant is working in my favor at the time, just trying to help to balance everything for me. So my parents didn't even know nothing about that. It was just me, and then of course my wife at the time. She was my girlfriend at the time. My wife now, she is Stephanie. She was the one that helped me in trying to get all that stuff corrected and trying to help me take care of that stuff for me. So I was pretty. It's a blessed to have her around me. That's what.
Cool. So you grew up in an island of 60,000 people. Was there a number of high schools? And then just like the competition wise, there was only a couple, or how'd that work?
Yeah, it's really crazy how that come about. There's 7 high school in American Samoa, and we play each other twice. And my senior year, we were the island champion for 3 years straight, from my sophomore, junior, and senior. And then if you there's a all-star team they selected over there, and then if your senior year there's an all-star team they selected through all the high school. They put together 2 teams, and then they go to Hawaii and play against Hawaii team. So that's how I got to Hawaii. When I was talking earlier, that's how I made it to Hawaii. It's because of the game. The game took me away from the island. For the first time I ever left my parents, it's the All-Star game I was selected to play in my senior year.
That's great. You said back then that was really a novel thing for someone to come from the islands to come play, but now it's pretty commonplace, right? I feel like there's a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
I
Polynesian guys
mean,
that I've seen in the NFL and around the college football scene.
yeah, there is the whole lot of a class of our our age that came up, and even some of them before us, and then are creating a lot of open doors for a lot of kids back home, and then give them the opportunity to figure it out about academic before football, because back in the days we didn't even look into that area of life when you go play college football, not even into take care of the academic before that. It was all most of us that is always sports first before all that. So it's now it's pretty big back home, and they're doing a lot of special area of school to make sure these kids that play sports, any sports, are focused on that area of life in the academic area. So most of that the guys that came with us and before us, that's the biggest thing. We go back and make sure all these folks that are leaders in the in high school and the education back home, we're trying to make sure that, and then a lot of them, the guys that came up with me, they're coaches back home and they're teachers, and they're high up in the education for American Samoa, and that's what they're putting first, is to make sure these kids are getting better grades and better hold of the academic part before they even get to the sports, meaning they discipline them over there way before they get here.
Nice. So building a real legacy there. That's great. Did you know other islands and other people that were playing at the time? So like Hasia Fuhala was from Tonga. Would you have known about him, or you knew about guys that were playing in Hawaii, or not necessarily?
I didn't know about no one, but just know that Polynesians is a little different than regular people. Polynesian is from all these folks that have that one name. Polynesian is all Samoans, Hawaiians, Fijian, Maorian, Tongans. They're all in the same category. Wherever we see, in anywhere in the world, you see any Polynesian, the first thing they will do, they will come up and ask you, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? You Polynesian? You Poly?" Poly is a short name for Polynesian. And then you, as soon as they say, "Yeah, you Samoan, Tongan, Hawaiian, what's up?" And then they tell you where they come from, and then they connected right away. They always connected in an amazing way when they go anywhere in the world. For example, like Hausia Fuhala, that was at Iowa when I came. Hausia and John Peaua, remember them?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. And so when I first came to Iowa, those are the two. And then, of course, the Hausia was the guy. And then it was when I found out there's some Tongans up there. So it's immediately you feel good about the whole thing, because I knew there's some Polynesian at at Iowa. So there was two Tongan guys. So those both of them are from Tonga. And then it was awesome because they're like the guys that walked me through, especially my boy Hosea. And then that's exactly where I start to connect it with you, because everywhere I see you and Hosea, you guys are start doing the bow down deal. And, my brother. And then Hosea was pretty crazy, but he was the one that in the middle of the street in Iowa City over in the Bed Mall or whatever, he's bow down every time you come over. And then you see Nick coming over there early, and then my man Hosea start doing the bow down with Nick, and then start, "Nice to see you, brother." And then they start hugging, and then, "See you later again." And, "Who is that?" And then he was like, "That was the punter, man. That's my boy." And then they start, and then
Next door neighbor too. Yeah. He's my neighbor in the dorms. Yeah.
remember that every time we see you, and then me, I was with Hosea. He always do that, and then everybody's staring over there. Do Hosea doing the bow down to, "It's good to meet you, my brother," like that. It was pretty funny because Hosea was pretty nut. He's a nutcase, yeah.
Yeah. Great guy. He's a crazy person.
But
And
he's one of those guys that would die for you, though. His teammates, he would die for his teammates.
oh yeah, yeah. Super loyal, like great guy. And it was funny because the first time I see the guy, he's like in a lava lava, and
Yeah,
he like, got his shirt off probably, and just jacked, Polynesian guy, like got this like dress skirt thing on. And I was like, holy cow, what is going on right now? And then yeah, become great friends with him. We're like, yeah, it was next door in sixth floor or whatever in Slater. So yeah, it was awesome.
that's great. Oseo is good people. And then the lava lava is probably, all the fans are listening. It's that wrap around all the islands that wears like a skirt, but that's what the everyday clothing that we grew up wearing. We even have high school uniform that goes with us when we were young. Those are affordable stuff we can wear at school. Of course, we wear shorts underneath when we go to school, just because our friends, sometimes they play that game. We go over and trying to get you or whatever.
Yeah, you got like your school lava, you got your church lava, you got your work lava, all of them.
That's 100%. We do that on the island. There's a special lava for church. It's called Iafaitanga, which is the one with buckets, and then that's the stuff you wear in special occasions. I wore one at the Coach Elliott's funeral, so I had a picture with all of us. It's pretty cool.
That's a great piece of your heritage. Yeah, I love it. So going to Iowa Wesleyan had to be a huge transition. Talk about going from there to Iowa and what that was like and what like the difference was and how that was for you.
It was different. It was different when I got there. You can tell it was a small division compared to what they have. They gave me 2 pair of shoes, a lot of shorts and shirt, even though our managers were stingy about sometime later on in life. But when I first experienced that shit, I was like, wow, man, this is some good stuff, man. Gave me some nice looking shoes. Even the shoes that you're supposed to wear around, because we got those Reebok, like Emmett Smith one. Those are one of my favorite one that we have at Iowa. The Reebok one that it was Emmett Smith shoes. I'm like, man, this is pretty good. And it feels good on your feet too to run on turf and then do all the workout with.
Are those the pumps, the Reebok
yes,
pumps? Yeah.
No, those are the good ones too. That was pretty neat, man. When it first came over there, I thought it was the best thing ever, man. And then most of that stuff, man, I appreciate forever. Some of that stuff I kept just because of the great memories I have of it. Going into that and starting seeing the different size of people and the different hearts of people that was pouring into who I was when I first came in. It was great. Like I said in the beginning, I was big on faith and everything. So when I got in, I always prayed and thank him just for the opportunity and grateful for everything that was given it to me to make sure my time and my chance here is going to be amazing. Everything, they gave me the tools, they gave me most of the stuff that I needed just to survive, that's for sure. And then it was pretty awesome just to go through something like that. And then the competition, it was way different than the Iowa Wesleyan. It's a little bit different just because of different level. And then at the same time, I was ready for it. That's for sure. I was ready. Those are the fun things I used to do when I go to practice, coming into Iowa, walk on, trying to prove it to the coaches and try to make a name for myself. I was all gas, no brakes, man. I was on scout team. I've been thinking about the damn word, but I was on the scout team. I was on the scout team for the whole time, my first time there, and then it was all about showing coaches, prove it to myself that I can survive here. I see a lot of amazing talents that I went through. The O-line, they were huge. Everybody was big. It's hard to go around them, but basically, I was on a mission. I was trying to earn a scholarship because they set me down, Coach Austin, and told me that basically if you do well, we can offer you a scholarship that pays for everything. He can offer you a scholarship that will help you. And at the same time, I have a daughter at the time, my daughter Sam. We have our daughter when I came to Iowa, and she was pretty young. And then it was pretty hard. We lived through a hardcore life trying to survive in college life, go through division to play. Both me and my wife were playing. She's playing volleyball, and then I was going through football. It was pretty harsh trying to make it through. And then at the same time to find people to watch our daughter. We won't even change a thing about the whole experience. It's one of the best feelings just to go through that. Even it was harsh at the time because we were young. We were 19, we were 18, trying to go through something like that. And we depend on our faith and depend on our trust in the Lord to make sure we're walking the right path. And competition was pretty hard too. But at the same time, I always trying to find a way to win. Iowa was not easy to go through a lot of those All-American per se when I first walk in, looking at them thinking it was easy. But when I came through, it was not easy to trying to fight somebody to go through something like that. But it was one of the best experience ever. And trying to go through one-on-one most of the time, go through beating somebody over there it was the goal, the mission, like I said. And it was a very successful mission because most of those old line that was there with me, some of them, they're frustrated. They're super frustrated because here I am. I look like a rookie but I was a sophomore when I came into Iowa. But everyone else, they probably think I was a rookie coming in. So they're always trying to be ready. And some of them are trying to get me pretty good. But every time I beat somebody, they're so angry. They're so mad at me, for whatever reason. But we were all there to compete to win and try to make the team better. It's the mission. It was like one of those deals, man. You go against somebody that gets so pissed off. I never forget the experience going against one of the best left tackle in college at the time, which is Ross. Ross Verba was the guy that they always put me with him. I was in one of those modes. I trying to take all the reps from everybody new. Every time the coach called next, I jump and get ready. I jump in. Who's next? I jump. And then who's ready? So I was always that guy. I always jump in, even though I just went or whatever. I jump in again, or I just finished. Every time they call who's next on 101, I was the first time who jump in. It's not like this group come in and then that group come in. Is back in the days when I first went to Iowa, they always wait for who's hungry enough to jump in. So I was super hungry to jump in. That's how I was learned from the island. Find a way to get in to show people that you're that guy. And then it was pretty funny. One of the reps I did with Verba back then, I went when I said me, I jump in and then I go over there and then line up. And then I look up, I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy's big. He's humongous, man. He's covered the whole gap. So I was like, how the heck I'm gonna at first I'm like, gotta have a plan to go against these big folks. So when I went in there for the first time, I went with Ross Verba. I'm like, how the hell I'm gonna go around this dude? And then at the same time, it was the ball height. Coach Verducci was the one who started the deal. He's the one that go hike. And then I'm like, it's already hike, so I'm gonna go whatever's gonna happen, it happened. Guess what? My man stoned me and plant me down. So he planted me down like a coconut tree. Doom. I have one of those, I can feel it, man. He just pancaked me down, man. I'm like, oh shoot. Then that's when the adrenaline comes. So it comes, and then coach says, so who's next? I was like, I want to go again. And then that's when the adrenaline come, and then I was like ready. Blood's flowing. I'm ready. I was like, man, he's not going to do this to me again. And then I went over, and then when they start the deal, I start making some move on him, a little shake, and I beat him. I beat him pretty good. Remember, there's a dummy in the back. It's pretending like a quarterback. So I beat him with the shake. I go in the back, and then when I got to the back, at the same time, I've been angry from that first pancake. He's like planting me down on the ground. So I was mad from that. Came back, and then when I went back on the next rep, I sprinted to the dummy after I beat him. So he was fall down. He's angry at this time. So I went to the dummy tackle. I got up and start punching the dummy. So he got mad about it, right? So all of a sudden he sprinted to me. I didn't see this, but I'm I'm at the dummy at first. I'm still messing with the dummy because now I'm like excited. I beat his ass, and I heard he's the big time Big Ten, all Big Ten. He's an All American. So I mess with the dummies, and then all of a sudden, boom! My man was mad, and he ran over and hit me from the back, and then I fell down. So guess what? It wasn't over. So I fell back. I got up, and then there you go. We go at it. We start fighting, and I'm brand spanking new, and we start going at it. It was start going at it, and then he was even more mad because I keep pushing him back, and then he start falling back, and all the coaches came over and helped and stopped the commotion going on, and it was those are some of my favorite thinking of one-on-one because that was my first time one-on-one him, one of the best O-line, and then he planted me down, and then and the next thing you know, I beat him and went to the dummy, and my man didn't even. He was so angry, he sprinted back and hit me from behind, and then we go at it. It was pretty funny. Thinking back, it was pretty funny. But that's all that trying to prove it to all the coaches that I belong. So it was pretty crazy.
It feels like there's a little bit more to that story. I think you were telling us once that you guys were fighting so much that they made you guys run around with your hands taped together.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that. It was a lot more because Coach Viducci came over and talked to me. When I tell you stop, and then I didn't stop. I was going a little bit numb. I was crazy at the time because I'm in that crazy mode of trying to surviving mode. I was like, man, I don't even care if these guys are all American or whatever. I'm going to show these cats that I'm the guy, right? Coach Viducci came to try to tell me something, and I didn't listen. So I pushed him away, and that didn't go well because Coach Fry blow that horn, and he was mad about it because he can see it from afar. So he blow the horn, and he's walking towards me, and then because it was a big fight. It was like going crazy. He walk over after he blow the horn. The whole time I see him coming, right? Walking straight to me. And then I'm like, oh shit, he's going to kick me out. He's going to kick me off the team right now for fighting. And I'm like, that's it. I got to go call my girlfriend and let my girlfriend, my daughter, I just got kicked out. And then I'm done. The whole time I'm scared. This man's going to kick me out. He's walking over, come closer to me. The whole time my heart's still beating. And then when he got closer to me, he leaned over to my ears and he said, son, that's how you play football. But when my assistant tell you to do something, you listen. Do you understand? I was like, yes, sir. I'm doing one of those. And then right after he told me in my ears, that's how you play football. I knew he loved it. I knew he loved me stirring all this stuff. He loves everything about it. I knew he loved it. So I like fighting. So I'm like ready for this guy to kick me off. When he told me the news, I'm like, this is good news. He loves this very much. So I'm like, all right, the head guy is like the owner. He loves this very much. So I was super happy that he didn't kick me off, but he says, when my assistant tells you something, you better listen. But wait a minute. He turned around, he called Ross over, and then he tapes our hand together, right? He tape it. He make us go take a lap. He says, go take a lap until I tell you guys stop. So it's before we even go take a lap, not even 10 yards away, we already go at it again. We fight again. All the stuff came off, and then they make us come back we went for one lap, and then they pull us in to go back. But before we even went to those laps, we go at it again. I'm like, man, he loves it. The whole time I'm thinking, man, the head guy loves what I just did. I beat him. I beat the big time O-line. And then I'm like, okay, he loves it. He told me that's how you play football. So I was super excited at the moment. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this so I can ruin everybody's deal. And and from there on out, I was that guy the whole time. I wanted to win. From there on out, it was like it don't matter who I was going against. I was going for the kill. And I was like, man, I'm going to show everybody that I can go against these guys. So that was pretty awesome moment to go against all the guys.
I was going to ask about the other guys that you connected with. Talk us through your experience coming on campus.
First of all, I was dropped at Slater Hall, and they told me the floor and they told me the room where I'm going. So I said, third floor, tell me the room number, and then that's where you going. Your roommate's already in there, but that's where you going. I'm fresh off coming in. I went, put my stuff away. When I got in, there was already a stereo there on the bricks, and then there's like a board that put the stereo on, and then some of the suitcases already in the room. But I came with one suitcase, just one. I came in, sat in there for a little bit, did not know who my roommate was, and then when the door opened and walked in, it was Tim Dwight. He came in, what's up? Was screaming at me. It's we've been friends for a long time. I knew we're going to connect with this guy. I'm going to connect with this guy. That was my first roommate moving into Slater Hall. It was Timmy Dwight. And then it was connect from there on. I knew when he came in, start hugging me, asking me question where I'm from. And then as soon as he figured out, man, we were on. We were on from there on out. It was one of the most amazing experience because I didn't know at the time he was from Iowa City, but at the time I was like, okay, maybe a kid from another town that came to Iowa City, but I didn't know at the time he's from Iowa City. But when I found out, and then it was such a great experience because Timmy's parents was so amazing to me when they found out I came from overseas, way far away from the countryside of the island. And they've been great to me. They've been hooking me up with food, extra stuff, trying to take good care of me when they found out I came from the island way far away from Iowa City. And then a lot of Timmy's friends I get to meet, they took care of me too, man. There a lot of them look out for me because they knew I'm not from around the state. So it was awesome. And I knew you were one of them too, early that I met through Timmy's days over there.
Probably, yeah. You knew everybody. So yeah, if you knew Tim, then you knew everyone in town too.
Absolutely, man. My man was super popular. Yeah, and then after the dorm, I stayed in the dorm for a year. And then after the dorm, I move in. Actually, one of the practices, Ryan Driscoll told me that there's one of the guys that's going to move on, graduate, and then if I need a place to stay, I can move in with them. So I said, man, that would be awesome. It don't matter whatever room you got, I'll come in there. He's another guy too that look out for me is Ryan. So I move in there, and there's Ryan Driscoll was in there. Casey Wigman was there. He's a little time before he moved on to the NFL to try the NFL. Ian Davis was in there too with us. Jason Simon was in there. A lot of those guys were staying with us in there. And then Jared DeFries, of course, was in there too. So it was such a good experience just to stay with them at the Olive Pit. It's one of the most popular house, man. The Olive Pit, baby. So those are the best place, man. And so those are the guys I stay with for a while until my wife and my daughter move up, and then we move into Pheasant Ridge. Me and my daughter and my wife, we live in Pheasant Ridge most of the time there. So it's a great experience, that's for sure.
Did she stay down in Mount Pleasant for a little bit while
Yeah,
you
she
were
was
getting
trying,
set?
yeah, she was trying to finish up. As soon as she graduated at Mount Pleasant, she came up and she was a TA at business over there at the Papa John building, and she was an accountant. And then she was a TA over there for while I was in at Iowa City. She was working on her master and trying to go through there, and then became a TA.
It was hard just doing regular college, let alone having to raise a daughter and try to juggle all those things. That's just, it's wild. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. I tell you that. Most of the stuff we told our kids, the experience that we have, we will never change it for anything. But the advice that we give it to them is don't have a kid when you go to college. Don't even do it. Wait until you're done with college because it wasn't easy. Got to go through 2 days and then you got to find a babysitter and then you got to go through school at the same time. Like I mentioned earlier, when she goes to school in the evening sometime, and then I was at practice, so she dropped off our daughter at the facility, and then of course she's got to stand at the outside until I'm done, and then of course some of the managers help give her some snacks to try to survive before I get off. So yeah, those are the fun days.
How do you think that shaped you going through that experience and kind of having your own kids and yeah, like the struggle part? I think that's maybe something today where it feels like that's not always the case where these kids have to go through that really tough time and make it through. So how do you think that shaped you like for the rest of your life that way?
Oh, a lot. It's we from being a student and being a student athlete, younger student athlete, we turn into mom and dad, and we turn into grown-ups pretty fast, and then we mature ourselves in to make sure that that kid that we created is in there. We got to make sure that she have the best care, and then she have the best opportunity going through that. And then the stuff we learn from those younger days, and when it's time to get these our kids into that area, getting close to prep themselves to getting closer to getting recruit, is what we learn through our experience. That's for sure. Because we have to do a lot of things that some of these college kids don't do. We have to go through all that. We live through a lot. Our scholarships, Bell Grant money, if we have, and then some of that stuff before we even get scholarship, we have to go through the state. We use food stamps trying to survive. We sign up and then we go through that, trying to get some food for our daughter. Whatever care that we can do to make sure we're properly care for our daughter the right way. Make sure that we do everything we can to make sure she survived the life that we created.
Did you get a scholarship eventually? How'd that kind of play out?
Actually, before the semester was over, or maybe after that semester, coming to the next year, and we figured out. I got my wife and my daughter move up, and then is one of the days I'm like, man, I talked to my wife about, man, maybe I need to go ask coaches and see to test this side of the water and see what coaches said, man. I already showed to them that I can play the game of football, and then we'll see. So I went to Rita. I said, Rita, I want to meet with Coach Fry. Is there a way I can talk to Coach Fry? I did not say a word to Coach Austin. I didn't say a word to Coach Austin. I went straight to the guy. Rita said, okay, let me see, schedule my deal, and told me the day I went. So I went in there. I saw my man sitting down, walk over, sit in front of him, and then I start talking to him a little, and then talking about the whole thing. And then I kind of asked him, I said, hey, coach, there's a reason why I came here. I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about going back to the island. He said, what? And then I said, I'm thinking about going back. I have a daughter, and I can't afford to go to school here anymore. I just want to, even though I have my stuff laid down, the loan, the stuff that I have to settle for me to get to go to school. But at the same time, I need some help. I told him that I came from a poor family. I don't have any money. And then I have my girlfriend and my daughter here. I can't afford to go to school. And I'm leaving. I told him that. I just straight on telling him that I'm leaving. I'm a possibility tomorrow. He says, now, wait a minute. That's what he told. Wait a minute. Let me speak to your coach and see where we're going with this. And then we'll go from there. I said, yeah, I just want to let you know that I can't afford to go to school anymore. I just want to let you know that if I can't get any help from you, then I got to go find a job to raise my daughter. That's what I told Coach Fry. And then he says, okay, I'll let me talk to the staff and then we'll see where we're going with this. So I was driving back to the apartment. And then I know when I got there, my wife was telling me that Hayden Fry was on the phone. We didn't have cell phone at the time. And then I went on the phone and my man told me to get your rear end back over here to the facility. I need to speak to you. I just left his office to go to my apartment over at Pheasant Ridge. And so when I came back, walk into the office, all the coaches are standing behind my man, his desk. A lot of them are behind this desk. And then he's sitting on this chair telling me that, welcome to Iowa. Congratulations. We got you a scholarship. We don't want you to go. We don't want you to leave. And then in the whole time, man, it's like I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, it's for real. He's giving me the money and he's like slipping me the paper on the desk. It says, congratulations, son. I talked to the staff. I talked to your position coach, and then he told me you work really hard and we need you here. It's such a great feeling to hear somebody says that they want me there, right? They want me there so bad. They have to offer me some money to keep me there. One of the best feeling and one of my favorite moment at University of Iowa as a football player is the receiving my scholarship from Coach Fry and Coach Austin and all the staff that was there, and to tell me congratulations that I earned my scholarship was one of the best things during my time at the University of Iowa as a football player. And it was nice. The next day I got to go stand in line. I don't have to hide for what's his name. They always check on me sneaking into the cafeteria where all the scholarship people at.
The training table.
Yeah. What's his name?
Streif?
No, not Streif.
Irv?
Bill Dervich.
Yes. There's always there. He always caught me and then take me back out. I got to swipe my card. Got to swipe my card because I always sneak in there with everybody. Everybody else says, come on. Nobody's at the door. So I just walk right in. But of course, after I got my plate, they walk around and come over and kick me back out or make me swipe my card. So that was a great feeling. After that, I got to go stand in line, confidence. Nobody's going to kick me off the line. I got to go with the good guys, the scholarship kids, feel special. Just to stand in that line, going to eat scholarship food. It was super cool.
I think that's how we found out when people would get scholarships is they just show up to training table. You're like, oh crap, you just got a scholarship. Not like today where they do this big social media thing. It was just you
Yeah,
showed up in that line, and that was the sign that you now got a scholarship.
I
I
know.
feel like I showed up one day and they're just like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And
Yeah,
that's when everyone found out.
yeah, it's such a good thing too. I have amazing teammates. When they found out I was I got a scholarship because I didn't even because I was that guy too. I used to sneak in there because everybody told me to come in. Just come in, man. Don't worry about it. And then I always get caught. I wasn't a I was a bad liar. I can't sneak around like that. So I wasn't even that little guy too. So it was pretty cool.
That had to be a great vindication after doing all that work and that journey and where that ended up. I'm sure that was an amazing
Oh
day.
man.
And to not have to pay for food. And I'm sure like you always could take home those cartons of milk. So you probably were like doubled up because you had a little daughter. You know, you're like, we all took 12 of them. You were like, you had 24 because you're a couple miles to feed at home.
Yeah, I was pretty good though. I probably take some snack, but not really all the milk to the house. It was for sure that was pretty cool. One of the coolest moment of my time receiving my scholarship.
They must have had that lined up, or what do you think, that they just hadn't told you yet? Or do you think they tried to pull some strings, or going to try to delay it a little bit before they gave you a scholarship?
Yeah, I didn't know about the whole thing that going on in. All I knew it was just the paper I signed, and then they allowed me to do everything everybody else was doing. So I knew it was kicked in. It was
Nice.
kicked in. There wasn't even, like you said, no celebration in the locker room like they do it today's world. But it was enough celebration of me thanking God for the opportunity. I'm grateful for Iowa to see what I can do, to offer me something to help me and my wife and my kid to survive in college life. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Nice. Let's fast forward and you see that picture behind you, like some on-field memories that you have. Talk about getting on the field for the first time and kind of how that journey went.
I came from a place that is about 100, 200 people standing on the sidelines or whatever. I came from American Samoa at their football games, not even come close to the crowd that comes in to some of the game. Is my first time experience that. It was a spring game in 95, right? Spring game is 95. It was probably 30,000, 40,000 people that came to that game. I never hear such a loud noise. I never seen so many people at the football game. But that's when I knew this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. But spring game in 95, when I first experienced that, going through that and trying to get on the rotation, it was one of the best. So I was the third down guy when I first went. I was like same thing like my older son experienced when he came in for the first time. He was the third down guy coming in. I was that guy going in on third down. Sometimes I get into some series there and one or two, and then it was going through share with John LaFleur and Jared DeFries, and sometimes they put me nose guard too with Aaron Klein, and so I got to experience all position on the line. So they put me everywhere, and it was super cool the whole time. I actually started two games when I was there, and when I first came, it was Illinois game and the game against Ohio State. So those are the games I remember. I started in there is because John LaFleur got hurt, and then I started in those games. So it was pretty cool. And when I was starting those two games, Illinois and Ohio State, I think Illinois was at home, and then Ohio State was at Ohio State. But earlier than that, I think I play a lot in the UNI game and Tulsa game. I think either 96 or 97, one of those 2 years when we played Tulsa and I the starters was in, but I was one of those that came off the bench a lot for third down, and then sometimes those games like that I was in there a lot. So those are the games that I took advantage, trying to make sure I get to the ball faster than everybody. So it was pretty awesome. The Tulsa game, the Illinois game, the UNI game, even the Purdue game. I got in a lot in Purdue game. Yeah.
As a D lineman, you want to be in a third down, don't you? That's a lot of times it's third and long, like you can just go after the quarterback.
Oh, it was one of those deals. You just call my number. I'll take care of it. I'm going to do the best I can to make you look good. And then that was the deal. I was going to try to I usually trying to talk to the D line. I'll meet you at the quarterback. And then that's what we were doing most of the time. We're trying to race who can get to the ball carrier faster.
And talk about the difference of the Iowa Wesleyan opponents versus like the Big Ten. Was there night and day difference?
Yeah, it was a night and day difference, size-wise, athleticism-wise, and they're faster and they're bigger and they're stronger than that. Most of the competition, they're big, but they're slow in the way. Like I said, I was pretty good when I was down there. I was killing all the O-line in that division, and AIA, most of the team that plays against Iowa Wesleyan, so they were having a hard time with me. I was the problem guy. Coming to Iowa, I was trying to do the same thing. I was trying to go against some of these bigger people, trying to stay with that motor. And I knew if I continue that motor with me, they're going to have a hard time stopping me too. And that's what I was continuing to do when I was getting all these opportunity to go in. So every time Coach Austin called my name, I was ready. I got to go show Coach Austin I belong there. And same mentality I told my kids when they came up. I told them, same mentality. It's just wait for your number. When they call your name, you better be ready. Don't just go through the motion when they call you. You got to go over there and then show the coaches that you're good enough, meaning you got to put a move on somebody. Don't just go through the motion and go touch them or whatever. I said, go with the punch, go for the kill. Have a plan before you even take off, and then go for the kill. Figure it out. All that, I learned so much through my walk-on at Iowa that I used that to a lot of kids that I help here and where I live now in Edwardsville. When I do my motivation talks or whatever talks, when we do a lot of these extra workout with my kids and their friends during the summer, is I use a lot of my experience from Iowa going through what we're talking about now. It's just because you don't get a scholarship or you don't even get an opportunity, find a way for people to offer you an opportunity, and then start where you at now. If you didn't get any reps, find a way to get any reps. Find a way to jump in. Volunteer yourself to do extra so you can find a way to get in. It's such an amazing experience that I never stopped talking about it. Look at us, we're talking about it again. I use it so much that through my experiences, Iowa here, Iowa there, Coach Fry, and then all our teammates and everybody that we do it from Iowa mostly, that I share so much to a lot of people, especially my children, to survive when they get into that moment. It's always cherish that moment with Iowa, cherish that moment with the opportunity, and grateful for the time that was given to me, that I have to take advantage and make sure that I do the right thing so the coaches can keep me there.
Any other good stories you want to share?
I remember one time I was wearing my Samoan attire, trying to get to the game, because at the time we were supposed to wear suits, supposed to wear ties and stuff like that, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any outfit to wear, no jacket, no nothing. But I wear some Samoan attire. I wear the lava per se, Nick, that have pockets and there's the ties on the sides. Is the stuff that you wear to special occasion, church, and then even event like football games in the way. So I didn't have anything to wear, so I wear that. And then I think there's a couple guys that was asking me, hey, are you supposed to wear a suit or a jacket when you come here? I was like, don't worry about it. I'll answer to the coach when they come to me to tell me something. And then I was pulled aside by the guys and tell me it, but I was just wearing what I have. I didn't have the jacket like everybody else was wearing nice khakis and jacket and ties and all that. Later on, they gave me, Iowa actually gave me one of those jacket and everything to wear. So it was pretty cool. I still have it because it's the only thing I have at the time. And I wear it once in a while to remind me of that. I didn't have any at all, but Iowa gave me that. So it's the reason why I have my first jacket blazer kind of deal. So they gave me two, one with the University of Iowa and then the regular nicer blazer for me. So yeah, my man Derv actually hooked me up. Coach Austin, they all hooked me up with those Iowa blazer. It was awesome.
Did you end up going to Pro Day after the 97 season, right? Did you go through that or try to get any opportunities?
Yeah, I did. I went through when I actually, 97 year, I didn't try out. I got hurt from the bowl game in Texas against Arizona State. I had back problem deal. I had a bulging disc after the bowl game, and then I couldn't even do that. So what I did is I came back in 98, and then I stayed with Jared DeFries and his wife, and then I went and trained to go try out. I asked if I can come back and then try out. I didn't want to regret anything. All the stuff I've been going through, I didn't want to regret the reason why I came. I just wanted an opportunity to get a chance to go to the NFL. And then I came back 98. I graduated 97, but I came back and do all that. I trained with Jared half of the year before the tryout, and I went and tried out. So I got a free agency. Well, doing the tryout, I pulled my hamstring on my second 40, and then it popped. When I went, it says it popped and then fold. So there was a knot underneath. They say they have to open it back up and sew, but I didn't want any of that. I just came back just to make sure. I didn't want a surgery, but it was pretty bad pull hamstring that they told me that's what's going to happen. But I went with every opportunity anyway. So after I ran all that, I did pretty good on my everything. Testing was pretty good. I was pretty strong still at the time. And I came back and then I had an interview with all the teams. And then, of course, I got an offer from Jacksonville Jaguar. And they want to fly me down to Jacksonville at the time. So it's funny now is because I live in Kansas City at the time. We moved to Kansas City right after. And then I came back to try to train so I can go try out. So Jacksonville offered me a free agency to go down. And then I came over to the house and then they flew me to go down to Jacksonville. My flight, man, I was first class, man. I was like important, man. I couldn't believe this. And I flew from Kansas City to St. Louis airport. And then, of course, it was stormed so bad in St. Louis, they cancel every flight. But at the same time, I told you guys, I pulled my hamstring. I was going to go suck it up in my head I'm gonna go suck it up at whatever they're gonna show me down there with the injury hamstring. But I flew anyways. I just want to go do it. It's funny now, like I said, I got stuck here in St. Louis, Missouri at the airport. And then now I work here at that airport. It's crazy. So it's like I flew here, everything's canceled to go out to Florida or whatever. So I called my agent and I told him there's no more flight. Is there another way I can come down there? There's nothing, nothing at all. Nothing the next day, nothing, whatever. So that opportunity, it was and right there. That right
Wow.
there at the St. Louis airport. They flew me back to Kansas City later on the evening to go back. And then that was the end of that. So that was my opportunity to do that. So it was all end here at the airport I work at now. So it's pretty funny. It's like I flew here, go eat lunch at this airport, and then flew back home and tell my wife everything was canceled. So that's it. After that, then I connected with the Canadian football, signed a contract to play at the Lions, BC Lions, got everything, gave me my contract, signed all that. It's it was crazy because I'm not sure. 2 days later, they probably found out that I got hurt or something, and they cut me. So they didn't even fly me up to Canadian football. They just got me right away after most of my stuff was signed. Of course, I kept most of that stuff somewhere. It's deep somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I signed a contract. I think is 60 grand to go to the Canadian football to play, and then 2 days later, they probably figured out I got hurt, and then they cut me again. And after that, so I decided it's time to go find a job to take care of my kids. I had two at the time. That's when I trying to find something around. So it was crazy.
And is that when you got into working for the airport, or when did you start working for the airport?
Later on, I went to school to be a cop. I was a criminal justice sociology at Iowa at the time, but I got the diploma was sociology. I was minor in a lot of criminal justice courses, so I wanted to be a cop. That's what I wanted to be. So right after that, when I knew I was done with football, so I tried to apply to everywhere to be a cop, state patrol, any cops, because I did my deal with the Iowa City. What do you call those deal when you try to go try? And I did it with the police department in Iowa City. My
Like a ride along?
internship, I did it at Iowa City.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was doing it on late nights, doing in the morning, I did it. They did a great job for me to do all that. It's a whole different world. When we moved back over here, that's what I was doing. I was doing some social work after that. When we moved back to Edwardsville, is this is where my wife is from, Edwardsville, Illinois, and I was doing a lot of work with all the troubled kids. To start with, I was looking for a cop job, any police job anywhere. I applied for Missouri, applied for here in Illinois where I live. I was trying to go through that. If I knew what I knew now, it would be amazing. But back then, I didn't know anybody around, so I just going through a lot of social work stuff, trying to be counselor for all the troubled kids. Back then, I worked for a facility that a lot of troubled kids that we counselor, trying to be good and go through the procedure they gave me to go through with the kids. And then after that, I was getting bored just to sit in office and counsel all these troubled kids. I'm like, man, I need to do something different. And then that's when I found Southwest Airlines, and a cousin of mine that worked in LA. is the guy that connect me with the company and connect me with some people, and got to go in and interview. And of course, they hire me. And then the people who interview me here in St. Louis, two of them, they're Hawkeye diehard. So they knew who I was when I came in, and they knew who I was when I came in for my interview. So it was pretty awesome, awesome start. Yeah, and that's when I started in 2000 here in St. Louis. The 21st of this month, August, I'm going my 25th year at Southwest Airlines.
Wow.
Damn.
You get something special for that at 25 years?
Yeah, they gave you those gifts, and then they, of course, they said, "Good job."
Get back to work.
Get back to work. We need some money. Get those planes in the air.
Don't drive across the zipper road when the plane's coming in.
Yeah, they do. They gave a lot of good gifts for a lot of people that is over 20, over 25, and they invite you to come down to Dallas. They have a big dinner with CEOs and all that with everybody. So it's a good one. But this year we didn't make it because it was happening right when our son Iose was graduating in high school. So I couldn't even go. We couldn't go because you can take your wife with you too. They have a hotel for you guys and all that if you bring your better half with you. So we didn't even make it because somebody's got to graduate to go to Iowa. And then, of course, we have to take him to Iowa.
Nice. A buddy of mine had art shipping. So for a little while, I was like someone who watched the art that would come into the airport, get packed, go on the plane. Then I had to babysit it onto the plane, and then it would take off. And someone would get on the plane and then fly with it. So I had to like text and be like, okay, it's on there. And they would hop on, and then they would fly to Europe or where it was going. So it was like,
Oh.
this is like, it could be millions of dollars of art just in this like little box. And you're just like, make sure you see it all the time. It's like chain of command kind of thing. So I was like, you get this access. So you do this like crazy background check and all that stuff. And so you're literally like driving, I'm like driving through the airport, right? I'm like on the runway, and I'm like trying to cross these things, and I'm back behind these planes, and the planes are backing out. And I was like, all right, if I mess up, I'm going to be on the news. This is going to be bad. But awesome. I love airplanes. So it's just like you have the ability to like walk under like a 747 and like hang out and see these things. It was pretty amazing.
Those are huge. Those are
Huge planes. Yeah, the tires are like,
yeah.
like they're 4 foot tall, and yeah, it's like a 35 foot in the air kind of things.
We're on those little 737. So
that's amazing. Nice. Let's talk about your sons and kind of their football journeys if you want. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting for people to hear.
the first one, HA, we didn't even think about anything going to Iowa the whole time since we start playing football or involved with Pee Wee football. We, even before that, we never get a chance to go back. We were so busy trying to take care of their school and some of their younger sports that we're trying to get them involved. And then, of course, we didn't even have any money to go back to any games. One time, we were lucky when they have to understand Steph, and then we got a chance to go up there. I took AJ with me, and it was an awesome experience for my man. But it's hard to come back to Iowa just because of that. So anyway, the whole time doing this football, before we even get to that recruiting, we didn't have anybody. We didn't have nobody, not even, we were like, so not even come close to the radar. What happened with ours is we try to go to a lot of these local camps because we learned so much through our daughter going far on camp, going so far, and then nothing. It's all crooked, no answer, no results or whatever. Going somewhere else, no, same thing. So we learned from that. We go to these local camp and then try to take our kids to somewhere it's free or maybe not that much and go to the local school just to go through some of their camp and see where we learn something from there. But during this whole time, we start learning about all that. We didn't even, not even come close to the radar. And then when you get to 8th grade, 6, 7, 8, we went to the all poly camp in California, Utah. We go to the all poly all the time. Working on the airline is a blessing, that's for sure. It get us just show my ID, and me and my son jump on the plane. We go if it's available. We go to Utah all the time for those camps. So start learning from there too. Amazing camp. It's the only contact camp that going on at the time. It's pretty neat. So going through his eighth grade season, I got a after the 8th grade season, about to go into freshman, I got a phone call from LeVar. LeVar says, I don't see you or your son's name on this list over here. Lindenwood University runs a big camp. It calls the mega camp, right? But I didn't know. I didn't know about these things. I didn't know about it. We go through regular stuff and go through that all poly. And then he says, LeVar says, why don't you just go sign up and then bring AJ over and see where we're going from there. And he's about to be a freshman in high school. So we attend the camp that day. He asked me Friday, and the camp is on Saturday. And I'm like, okay, sure. Okay. I immediately do that. And then took the day off too, because I'm supposed to work on that Saturday, but I have to go take him now because staff's got to go take somebody else to their sports. So we went over there, get in. And of course, AJ was killing everybody. He was killing kids that is older than him, right? He was beating up on the O-line. They're older than him. He was like, got a good tweak that weekend. And he was like beating everybody with the move, speed, whatever he was doing. So basically afterward, they couldn't believe that I didn't even bring him around, whatever. And then I told them I didn't even have enough money to come to Iowa at the time. I just started, we were going paycheck by paycheck and then just trying to get these kids to the right stuff that we can afford, but we couldn't even come. And we were blessed that day too, because Kirk Ferentz offered him his first scholarship right after his 8th grade. He's about to be a freshman. That's when he got his first offer, and his first offer is from Iowa. So yeah. I was emotional and flowing and a lot of happiness. And I'm like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. See, hard work pays off, buddy. And then after that freshman year, we went to the all poly again, and they found out this is when social media just started, right? From 8th grade on. It's just started. And we went back to all poly, and here he goes, man. He was killing everybody over there. And then here comes offer after offer, after head coach, after handshaking. It was all over. It was pouring. This is about 30 Division I. It was at that camp, all poly. And it was coming like crazy. So every corner we walk, a D-line coach walk over, hey, I just want to let you know we want to offer you a scholarship. Go to this corner. Hey, I just want to we want to offer you a scholarship. It was crazy. And for the funny thing is about that all poly, when they start and figure it out, who AJ was. And later on, we came back to the camp. USC only send 7 people, right? 7 people. Their only attention that they trying to do is focus on HA only, when it comes. It was so bad that HA have to wave me over, right? Every drills they go, USC shirts always go corrected him, trying to tell him how to do stuff, trying to tell him he's doing it wrong. It was annoying. It's just so bad that he waved me over to come. So when I came over, he says, Dad, I don't want to deal with these guys anymore. I was like, why? Dad, there's All those guys, I was told they were assigned those guys. I didn't know at the time, but one of my friend that coached told me this later on. But those guys are all over him. But they didn't know they're annoying him bad. So when he told me that, I'm done with them, Dad. They're annoying me bad. So I went and pulled all those guys over. A lot of them are Polynesian. A lot of them are Samoans, Tongans. They work for USC. I pull everybody over. I said, listen, starting right now, leave him the F alone. For real. He don't like you, he don't like you, he don't like you, and he don't like you either. So stay the F away from my son starting now. That's what I told every one of those USC coaches. One guy was one of the guy, I knew him for a while. He was a quarterback coach for USC. He knows how to approach, but the other guys were so aggressive approaching him that I have to do all that, which is I didn't care. It was, you guys probably heard of him. He used to play for the Raiders. He's Polynesian too. He's Samoan. Marcus, he was the quarterback. He came from Washington. I'm not sure if he was the quarterback when we play him in '95, but he was the only guy that I liked from the staff. He came over and apologized to me about the whole thing. So I told him, I said, no, I'm not even playing. You can come over and talk to HA, whatever you want to apply to HA, but your whole boys over there, they need to don't even come close to my son. So it was one of the interesting camp. And then I'm like, my man he didn't want any part of those USC coaches. And then that was it for USC. They were out the whole recruit there. But it was pretty neat. And then scholarships start flowing in, and then all these 247 sports start ranking my man like the number one DN in America, getting into his junior and senior year. And it was crazy, super crazy. It was coming like crazy. And of course, we started to recruit with Coach Reed. He used to coach at Iowa. He's the one that Kurt put it on HA. But of course, I like him, but he didn't even do a good job trying to come to HA. I reach out to Iowa and I said, I think you guys are doing a weak job trying to get to my son. You guys need to get on this guy, because every one of these other university are like camping here, man. They probably put their tent somewhere over here in Edwardsville because they're here every day. I don't even see that guy from Iowa here. They're camping here a lot. They come here every day, and coaches tells me, hey, so-and-so came. Every time somebody offered, coaches at the high school always reach out to me and my wife, tell me somebody else just offered, somebody else is offered, somebody else is offered. So we're super busy. So I learned a lot through my daughter, recruitment. So during her time is the reason why I was trying to put together all HA stuff going into that. So it was kind of awesome too, because Coach Ferentz took away Coach Reed and they put LeVar on there. And then it was like the whole different deal. It was night and day different recruiting, because now somebody that I know, that the rule is you got to have previous experience with somebody for you to straightly talk to these folks, right? If you're the coach. Of course, he was my friend. We talk, we never talk. We never stopped talking since we left Iowa. I always message him, talk to LeVar most of the time, but it was strengthening it up through my son coming in. And LeVar did an amazing job. He's did an amazing job recruiting HA. HA was have that one side, like my side, doing school, like lacking on academics. Well, LeVar got on his butt. He went to school, and then the coaches told him he's over in this building because his grades fall down, right? I think LeVar got on his ass and said, you want to play football, you want to do this, then get your shit together deal, and take care of your business. Your mom and dad, he's like father figure to AJ too, and then basically make sure straighten him out, right? He knew that's what me and Steph will want for them to say. So say the right thing to these kids to make sure they're doing the right thing for themselves, not for us, but for themselves, which is great. So proud of LeVar with all his accomplishment and then how he got this guy coming up there. It was such an amazing journey with AJ. And for, I remember, I was trying to think about when did we let Coach Ferentz know he's, oh, yeah, that that whole time that doing all that and then getting to the commitment part, we decided to get all my kids, call my daughter at Purdue. Hey, can you drive to Iowa City? Can you go into Iowa City? We're about to go surprise Coach Ferentz and tell Coach Ferentz that this is going to happen. But before I tell you guys that, let me rewind back to our visiting. Let me rewind before I get to the commitment area of AJ. I want to tell you guys about our visiting. We keep going to Iowa. AJ's getting into that moment of, man, I'm tired of going up there. Why do we keep going? It's the same stuff they show me. It's the same thing. It kind of that kind of deal. So we're like, my wife was like, hey, I got an idea. Maybe we'll need to go to a basketball game. We never been to a basketball game. I was like, whoa, that sounds great. So we contact them and we're trying to schedule if we can come up to, we're trying to go above that and then right in that area of the rules, contact them and see if we can come up to a basketball game. And then, of course, they invite us to come to a game. We would love to. They hook us up with the coming up, and then we went to I think we play. Is it Northwestern? I'm not sure who we played that day, but we went, and then we first walk into Carver. We came down the elevator, walk in, and of course, man, it's like a setup. They have Streif there waiting for us, man. I couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it, and then I was like, man, anybody else but John Streif to greet my family? This is amazing. I told Steph knows John and my kids, they didn't know John yet, but I told them, I'm like, look at this, man. This is a blessing right here to have this guy greeting us, man. I went over, gave him a big hug, and he was telling me, I'm so proud of you. Even today, Streif still texting me when he sees anything about my children. He always texts me, he's proud of me. He's proud of me. I love Streif. So anyway, when we were greeting by Streif and other staff, and the people up on the stands figured out, oh man, AJ Epenesa and his families are in the house. And then they start screaming. People figured out it was us walking in. So they start screaming from the top, says, come to Iowa, AJ, come to Iowa. And then AJ, come to Iowa. That's what the scream from the top. And then we still talking to Streif. And then all the people on this side of Carver, now they figure it out. People start screaming, AJ, come to Iowa. AJ, come to Iowa. So now all of a sudden there was a chant going, AJ, come to Iowa. AJ, come to Iowa. And you remember going in, he's tired of going over there. He's not even feeling it. Same old stuff that I see. Same old tour. We go tour and tour. And then now we're going into this. And then the chants start getting bigger and bigger in Carver. I figured out there that, wow, they did following us doing the whole recruit. Every fan was following my kids, following my family the whole time, and they start doing that. They start chanting, AJ, come to Iowa. So we would start walking towards our seats, and it was getting louder, man. And then it was like, I think that's when the whole thing changed in my man's perspective of college. We've been through so many colleges in the United States, been to so many campuses, but he never have that. Never have anybody that make him feel like that. All the way to our seats, and then people was getting louder and louder. It was crazy. But after that day, going to the next day and the next week, he didn't say anything to me. But my wife told me that he came over and decided he wants to go to Iowa. He told my wife that. He told his mom that he made up his mind. He wanted to go to Iowa. It was crazy. Such an amazing experience just to go in there, and then all these Hawkeye fans chanting my son's name and to come to school there. They're so close to watching these recruiting things. I thought it was one of the most emotional moment to hear that, and then just to see my son's face change, and then get to tell him, "Welcome to Iowa, son. Welcome to Iowa." It's such an amazing, memorable moment to think about that day, going up to visit the basketball game. Yep. And then going down to the commitment that I was talking about earlier, and get together all our kids, call my daughter at Purdue, let's meet over here to make it special for your brother to do this. So we all decided to do that. Me and my wife and all my kids. Sam's got to drive from Purdue to Iowa City. So we all met up there. I set it up to LeVar. I said, "Hey, don't tell coach we're coming. We just want to show up into the facility if you don't mind." Give him a heads up in a way, because he's don't know why I'm doing this, and you will like it. I didn't tell him, "Oh, you will like it," but please, just set this up and don't say nothing. I just need a chance to be in coach's office. It will be me, my wife, and all my kids are coming, and then that's what we told them, and we just got there, and then we went into coach's office, get to greet him, meet with him, and then we like prep in the car before we get to the facility what we're doing. Talk to everybody about it. When we got there, we met up with Sam, brief her what we're doing, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to go in, and then I'm going to speak, and then let AJ speak to coach, and then we'll go from there. We did that, sat down on chairs in Coach Ferentz's office, and I opening it up with coach and talk to coach, and then we told him, "Hey, coach, there is a reason why we showed up here today unannounced. We just want to come here because AJ wants to come here and talk to you, speak to you. He's got something to say to you." And AJ was told coach, "Hey, coach, I made up my mind. I want to play for you." And Coach Ferentz was like, couldn't believe it. My man was kind of almost cried too, man. He was like stood there. He was super shocked. My man was like, he couldn't believe it because AJ was coming in number one defensive end in the country. And he couldn't believe that. And it was such a celebration in there, like crazy. He was so excited for me and Stephanie and our children, and he was so excited for AJ, and then he was super happy. He couldn't even done it any other way, the way we did it with my kids, and get to hug him and Coach Ferentz, and even all Coach LeVar walk in, and then we kind of share, and then he's so excited. Coach LeVar was so excited. He started pushing me. He's like hugging me tight, and Stephanie and the kids. It was such an amazing moment just to reveal that to Coach Ferentz and got to have the commitment for our son to be there. So it was such a great part of trying to be a Hawkeye and thinking back to where I came, trying to get through Iowa to now my first son is about to be is a Hawkeye. And it's a lot of emotion, a lot of stuff flowing in the office there that day and at the moment. And then, of course, like I said, it was blowing up on social media because social media was new and it was blowing up when we announced, AJ announced that he's going up. I know it's disappointed a lot of college in the whole United States, but it was such an amazing moment for our family and an amazing moment for our son to commit to Coach Ferentz together there with all of us and for the get to spend more time in the office coming from can't afford to go back, no gas money, no money to buy tickets to now we're gonna have tickets to go to the game. That's in my head. I'm like, oh, now I gotta go back and cheer for my Hawkeyes. So I'm like, oh shoot, this is great and this is awesome. It was such an amazing weekend for our family to do all that with HA. And now that is done. You guys know what happened to him after that.
Hello, and welcome to our wonderful University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. This beautiful building, which opened to patients in the early months of 2017, has provided children with the ideal healing environment to match our world-class system of healthcare. We are Iowa's only comprehensive children's hospital, meaning we offer every pediatric subspecialty. We have the UI Stead Family Children's Hospital Press Box, a special viewing space with the city's best view of Kinnick Stadium. Many children and their families have caught a Hawkeye football game from this spot and taken part in the other side of Iowa's greatest tradition, the wave. The ultimate gesture of care and compassion, and the next time you're looking up at our windows, please give a wave.
And then going to the second guy, it's a whole different story with our son Eric. Eric was not highly recruited like HA, and but he had a lot of a smaller school that want him to come. A lot of a school like over here in the all Missouri schools, and a lot of these other smaller Division I school that wants him. But this guy, we've been trying to find him a better school because my man he studied mechanical engineering. He wants to do that. And then we decided to take him one of the best engineering school down at Rolla, Missouri S&T is the school. So they have a good football team, and we're trying to get him to visit there. A lot of us numbers come back to something good for us overall. Some of the other school, a lot of numbers coming back for good for us. And then my man was a volleyball player too. He was really good at volleyball. There's some other school that offer him the offers that everything will add up into free. It got another thing for him. He can play volleyball. Same thing. He didn't tell me nothing. We're getting close. My wife and we're trying to push. Let's get this going. Let's find out what it is. It's almost time for this. And then, of course, Eric's class was very. I feel bad for a lot of kids that graduated in 2020 because everything was not good. He didn't have a graduation. He didn't have any of that, but it was struggle. No school, canceled football season, canceled volleyball season. Everything was canceled. Everything. So it was adding up into trying to find him a Division I school. Hard to find. It's because of all that. It's so hard to find, trying to talk to all the coaches, people I know, everybody I know. It wasn't as money as HA. It was like asking for a tryout, asking for something, asking for this. It was hard. It was hard to try and accommodate what he want. But all that was going on, all that was doing. But he actually told his mom that he didn't want any of those. He didn't want volleyball. He wants to go to Iowa as a walk-on. He did this to me. And there's two schools that offer him walk-ons, Utah and Iowa. And we break it down which one is going to be easier for our family to come see him, easier for our family to drive or fly. And of course, LeVar and everybody that offer him the walk-on spot, Coach Wallace and them, actually Coach Ferentz is the guy who offered him that. He says, I want him to come here as a walk-on, prove it to us that he can play. So he ended up going to Iowa, and then he did super good at Iowa, but Eric was sick a lot. He was having problem with his throat, always have strep throat all the time, and he was sick most of the time. Every time he was sick, he's go backward. Every time he was sick, he was go backward. And this is our son that I know. He works harder than anybody I know. He works super double or triple the hard than my other kids, right? From my daughter to my other two sons. Eric works triple hard than everybody else. So I knew, I have no doubt in my mind, we have no doubt in our mind that this guy's going to survive. Sharing all my experience of me as a walk-on, got to have that walk-on mentality when you go there. And it's what we set him up to be ready for Iowa. And then that's what happened when he was there, man. He always had tonsil problem, always sick. So I knew a lot of that happened to Eric is make him go backward. He was on the list for, he was second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string. Start from fifth, going up to that, getting close to special team. And the plan is we just want him to go and try to make as a linebacker and try to go snap and play special team. And it's every time he always gets sick. I'm not sure what happened to him during those times of him there, but at the same time, he was triple work at the engineering building. He works 3 times harder than most of the kids. Coach Wallace was telling me that it's been a while since we see a kid like Eric major in those kind of things, that area. That they don't even offer the stuff doing football, away from football. Doing football, they don't offer anything. Only offer doing football. Only offer the classes that he needs to qualify in that major doing football. So most of that stuff is, he missed that stuff most of the time. But at the same time, I'm like, man, after the first year of Eric, I didn't see it all on any string or whatever, not even close to fifth string is out because he's been doing that way. And I'm like, so what do you want to do? Me and my wife both talked to him, see what he want to do. And he says he just want to try one more time for another year and see if he can catch up to that area of the game. I'm like, it's going to be hard. But if you want to play, we can go somewhere else. I know a lot of coaches, and a lot of coaches want Eric. And he says he want to stay. So 2 years in, we go back up, and Kids Day actually is what we go up to see him. He play a lot. Coach Wallace said he's doing pretty good. And then Eric says, I'm good. And then I say, that's great. I just want to talk to you again about the same thing. We want to speak to you about it because I don't want you to stay here and you don't even get to play. You want to play or you want to sit on the bench most of the time. This guy basically sent me and my wife down and told us that, Mom and Dad, I really love it here. I want to stay here. I want to do that here. We sharing with him, your walk-on is not cheap to go here. I just want to bring that to you. We love Iowa, don't get me wrong, but I'm just telling you, you're like going backward on this whole thing. It's like they keep bringing in more linebackers, and then you're like going off. You're about to be almost fall off the whole earth here. I want to make sure you know that. And it's the same thing. He tells me and my wife that, Mom and Dad, I love it, Iowa. I love it here. I want to stay here. What else you want to tell your kid when they keep on telling you? At the same time, we're looking at the money situation because he's the one who make that decision to go there. And they're like, we need to figure this out quick. It's because it's not cheap. And it's the same thing. So all the years, it's the same answer from him, even though we're trying to make him go somewhere to do the right thing if he wants to play, have a good experience in football in college. And then we end up, he graduated from Iowa, right? He graduated in mechanical engineering, which is another one of my proudest moments as a Hawkeye. And not only he graduated from Iowa in that department, and then he's got a year left coming into this year, a year left, and possibility he can always get a COVID here because he was one of those COVID babies going in there, and possibility, but he's got one full year left. But after he graduated, we were thinking he was going to play with his brother and then figure it out from there on out. And for Iose coming in, and then he was going to figure that out. And then he came home one time and basically told me and his mom that he's ready to go find himself a job. He says, I'm done. I just want to move on and find me a job. And now I already have a stamp on me that I am a Hawkeye for life. He graduated Iowa. He's got a diploma, say University of Iowa. And then it's like we told him, you do whatever's best for you. You don't have to play with your brother, but it will be nice for you and your brother to play together and make some money. It's a whole different world in college. That was me telling him that. And that we have him do whatever's best for him. Told him, you don't have to play with your brother. You do whatever's best for you. If you're ready to go explore the working world, yep, let's go do it. So now he's doing that now. So he's interview for jobs now. I think my man's got an offer from some good company in Iowa. He wants to stay in Iowa. So he loved Iowa so much, he graduated and he wants to stay at Iowa. We told him there's awesome jobs here. We can interview for Boeing or interview for Anheuser-Busch. And then my man says, I love it here, Dad, Mom and Dad. I want to stay in Iowa City. So there we go. That's where that guy's at. So he's still staying in Iowa City, and he's looking for a job right now. And he's got a couple offers from some company. I think John Deere is one of them. And I think John Deere down at Davenport area, close to that area.
That's where my brother works. Yep.
Oh, okay. Tell your brother look up.
Tell him he's in the market.
Epenesa. It sounds like a Mexican name, Espinoza, but it's Epenesa.
Yeah, he's a mechanical engineer too.
Oh,
yeah. Let him know.
Yeah, let him know. So he's trying to do that and trying to find a job and stay up there. And that's him, man. My man, he loves it, Iowa. Man, the most important thing is that he was trying to catch up right at the end of his time. He was trying to catch up with Iowa, and then it was hard because everybody was recruiting. A lot of these newer linebacker comments push him back. Like I said, something had to do with this. He was getting sick a lot and then getting to miss practice a lot because of what he was studying and whatever in a way. But at the same time, all I want is for Eric before he's done, is to get on the field, right? Is to get on the field in Kinnick. I want him to go, even though he play scrimmage, he play whatever, but I want him to get on the field. The day that we went and watched Iose's opening game for his senior year, the game got canceled here it was in Illinois somewhere up north here. And the game got canceled because of weather. And guess what? They put the game to the next day. And that was the day we were supposed, me and my wife supposed to go up there. And that was the day Eric got in special team. And I was crying.
Oh
Me
no.
and my wife feel so bad because we wanted to see him. Somebody they send me a video of him. I forgot who did that to us, but there was a video of my man on the field. Everybody else was sending me, "Hey, are you here? Eric is on." I couldn't believe it. I told me and my wife were at Iose's game on that Saturday. It was canceled from Friday night going to Saturday. So we were at the game, high school game, found out that Eric was in the game playing special team, kickoff team or so, and kickoff return. And then we're not even there. We feel so bad. I was like, I felt so bad that I wasn't there to witness my son on the field playing as a Hawkeye. So that was that. And then one of the proudest moment too, man, just to hear and that he got in. It was like before he even graduated from Iowa, and then he got in. It was the best. It was the best. I texted, even though I didn't know what they were doing. I was not one of those dad to text a coach, why my son is not playing, why whatever. I text LeVar. Hey man, I heard Eric was in. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me and my wife that my man was in. And then LeVar said he earned it. He earned the being there. It was one of the greatest moments, man. To hear my middle son get into the game, but I wasn't there. That was pretty good. So now my man's looking for a job. And now we got to get to this Iose kid on his recruitment.
Just one more thing on AJ. I remember that news because I thought he had gotten so big that Iowa was going to be out of the picture. I knew with your connection, we had a chance that he would come here, but I thought, man, every school is offering him. How can he walk away from those other schools? And I thought maybe there's a chance he still comes just because of you. But when I heard that announcement, I was like, holy cow, that is amazing. I just kind of thought he would
Believe me, I
go
heard
to
from
Oklahoma, somewhere else. Yeah, somewhere.
Oklahoma, damn Notre Dame.
Oh, dang.
Coach Elliott is the one who is recruiting him from
Yeah.
Notre Dame. They send Coach Elliott here to recruit him almost every day. Coach
Wow.
Elliott was here. Me and Coach Elliott go to the basketball practices. We sat in there. I told the coaches at high school, hey, the Notre Dame coach is coming. He's actually one of my coaches at Iowa. He wants to come sit in the basketball practices. And my man's, okay, we're going to have chairs for you two in there. We just sit in the gym and watch HA practice and talk story about our time. It was that was great.
Very cool.
To get to hang out with Coach Elliott, talking about the reason why he's here and the reason why he came, because they found out that he have a connection with me. And he told him, yeah, he's my son. Don't worry. I'll go get him. And then he did. Coach Elliott came almost every week. He's here. Called me. Hey, I'm coming in on whatever date. Okay, I'll go over to the high school and meet up with him. And we go watch HA, whatever he was doing. Even when he was doing track, he comes over. Coach Elliott was doing that too. Notre Dame was lucky to have Coach Elliott to come here.
Yeah.
It's
tough to turn him down.
Yeah, HA loves Notre Dame because of Coach Elliott. He loves Oklahoma. It's because of one of my Iowa Wesleyan teammate. It was the O-line coach for them. He's the O-line coach still. He's a lot to do with everything with those Heisman blocking the O-line. Every O-line play for. So the O-line coach, and then of course his Stoops and his brothers were there, and we came in, and that's what Stoop tells HA. We have something in common. I'm a Hawkeye. I know all about a Hawkeye, but a Hawkeye teaching this area right here in Oklahoma, this should be your new home. That's what he was doing to AJ.
Pretty tempting. Yeah, and he's got a national title to show you too. Yeah, that's hard to turn down.
Yeah, it was. They did an amazing job recruiting AJ. Oklahoma, Missouri, and Notre Dame were super up there on my man's list. And then just thank God we took him to that damn basketball game.
Seriously, yeah. Awesome. That was huge. Whoever's at that basketball game, yeah,
that
good
was
job.
Huge. When they start chanting his name, AJ come to Iowa, it was big deal, man. That was a big thing. Iose is a whole different kid, man. Every one of them are different. But Iose, it was super competitive because my kids, from my daughter to my boys, every time they come back from college, they want to play against Iose. And there we have our neighbor. There's a basketball court back there. And they always trying to go compete. And then, of course, every one of them dunk on Iose. They dunk on him. They dunk on him. Like in the middle of everybody comes in, and then we about to serve dinner at night, and the whole dinner stopped because Iose wants to play against somebody outside, especially AJ. So, you ready? You ready? And then I was like, we're about to eat. And then they're like, I'm ready right now. Okay. We walk outside. There's a light. This is at night. We turn on the light, and Iose have to play against the boys. And of course, I said, at first we started with them going by themselves, and then you hear Iose come back in, ready for dinner. He's crying, coming in. They cheated. They cheated on me. They cheated because they could dunk on him. They dunk on him a lot, and then getting to the point that we all got to go outside when they come back from college. We all got to go outside to watch these one-on-one. They go against Sam, my daughter, and then it goes against AJ, and then it goes against Eric. It's the same result. They all fly from the air and dunk on him a lot. When it gets to the point there, he was getting bigger. It's a whole different area, man. My man was bumping them, and then he was like hard to move because my man is thick. Iose is a little different size than everybody else. He's thick. If you look at this dude's leg and butt, he's got a little bit bigger legs, and he's got a little wider. My man's got big legs, big thighs, calves. And then when they get into the point that my man can hold his ground, they were having a hard time trying to fly up in the air. So it was kind of like it built from that. It built from that from the start. Very competitive. He's so competitive. He cries when he loses to them. It's the same thing when he loses to any sports. So he loves the competition, and he's that guy. And we did the same thing, kind of routing with Iose. But even Eric, we go to those camps a lot. We go to the All Poly camp. All Poly is super special to me and my family. Not only the head guy for All Poly and people that runs, some of my friends that runs All Poly, we all went to high school together. And they put on that nonprofit one up there is one of the best. But I know is the best in America. Contact camp. So it's full contact up there is awesome. So we went with Iose to the All Poly, and then Iose was in 7th grade when we first went, and then I made him go up go up 2 class to compete at All Poly. So he was compete against freshman and sophomore and 8th grader when he was 7th grade. He was compete against all the older kids. And then, of course, when we went, when he was 7th grade, that's when he first got his first offer, 7th grade. And then Iose always want to compete against AJ, Eric, and everybody, even Sam. He wants to compete against them. So he got an offer as a 7th grader, and then he says, "Hey, Dad, when did AJ get his first offer?" I was like, "Going into freshman after 8th grade." All right, I beat him there. That's what he says. He loved beating AJ's. He wants to beat everything my other kids put up here at Edwardsville. Every records, everything, he wants to knock it all down, whatever. And then that's the first thing I knew he wants to compete against his sibling. When he said that to me, when did AJ get his first offer? And then I told him, and then he says, okay, all right, I got mine in 7th grade. So I knew it's going to be like this for this guy going on. So he got his first offer from Utah, offer him right on the spot when Iose was beating freshman and sophomore O-line. And they're not little kids too, but Iose was tiny going against everybody. But he was practicing here in Edwardsville. He goes against all these kids at East St. Louis. They're like the same. They're like 6'4" or 5 kids go against a tiny little 7th grader. So it's like that. And then it's the same situation. Offers start flowing, rankings start coming in. Crazy for Yo, but we attend a lot of camps too for Yo. A lot of that stuff. Of course, we went through everything. We attended either freshman or sophomore. I think maybe it's a freshman year because they were talking about nobody ever offered freshman class since HA. And we went to the camp I told you here in Lindenwood University, which is Iowa always coached that camp every year. It's called Mega Camp. Now it's the name of the camp forever. Mega Camp here in St. Louis. And Iowa staff always come coach that every year. Every summer they're down here coaching that. We went, I think Iose's freshman year to that one. And then that's when Minnesota offered Iose. That was the first person who offered that day. The day we went, it was what's his name up in Minnesota? The head coach?
Fleck, PJ Fleck.
BJ Fleck. It was awesome. So they offer him. Iose walked over and told me, Dad, that coach from Minnesota just offered me. He gave me this card. I called the card right away. I want to make sure Iose's not making this up to me. I called the card and I said, hey, coach, this is Iose's dad, Epi. He just told me you guys extend a blessing to him with an offer. And he says, let me tell you something. When I saw that last name, I never forget the game that we came into Iowa City 11-0. We came in hot. And then that last name put us in the wrong area. We couldn't even stop that last name. That one kid named AJ, we found out that was his younger brother. And he says, but nothing to do with that. I saw him doing one-on-one, and we want to offer him that. Right after that, Coach Bell walked by, right? And he says, did I just heard Minnesota offer Iose? I was like, of course. I offer Iose. He saw the talent in him. That's what I told him. And then he says, damn. He called Iose over because I guess they're not supposed to come talk to me or whatever. But Iose was standing right there. That's when Iowa offered Iose. He offered him right there. And then I told my wife, man, Coach Bell, that coach from Minnesota, he didn't want Minnesota to stand alone with this offer on Iose. But I didn't know if he liked it or not. But at the same time, it was awesome because that's after Minnesota offer, Coach Bell offer him. It was awesome. It was going hot from there. And they keep on coming like crazy. It was coming like crazy. And then Iose's recruit was even hotter too. It was super hot. He's one of I think right at the end there, he was number 2 or number 3, a defensive end on his class. He was coming in hot. It was pretty good going in. It was getting heated up going in. Everybody, and then it's so different now. Iose was different because now it involved NIL, involved a lot of things into that area. I'm talking about they're offering buttload of money, and then the brand new truck. Those are the kind of stuff they offer Iose. They offer, I'm talking about a lot of money. Yeah, I've been working for a lot of time, but not even come close to what these folks are offering Iose. Plus a nice Dodge Ram, brand new 4 doors that I can't afford. They offer him those kind of things. They offer him cheap Cherokees and the brand new cars. Plus, on the top of that is the money. It's crazy. Me and my wife learned that through the whole thing. It was getting crazy stuff, man. And I'm like, wow, it's a whole new world, colleges that I learned through Iose. Everything is involved with whatever they can impress them with. We got to go with that. And getting so far into picking the top 10, picking the top 5, we go through that at the end with the top 5. Now we got to go visit all 5 of them. The top 5, he wants to do the official visit with them and do OV with all these top 5 school, which is Miami, Utah, Missouri, Penn State, and Iowa. Those are the 5 schools that he picks to be his top 5, and one of the school that he's going to stay with it forever. So we went and visited everybody. And then we warned him. I said, son, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? And he says, yeah, I want to do it. So I said, once in a while, you got to slip in and say, well, don't forget, you like it, all those schools. Don't forget, Iowa's a good school, son. Don't forget that. Once in a while, you got to slip those kind of line in the whole conversation, because my man is sometimes you forget Iowa, who Iowa is, and then I have to wear an Iowa shirt sometimes, and then make sure he remembers. But of course, in my house here, where we at, this is actually my Iowa room right here. It's got everything. I don't know if I can get around in the office. All the poster from Men in Black. Most of this is all Iowa behind me, and some of them are Purdue, Sam. I got my jersey on the wall. All the other side right there is HA. Over there on that side, HA and Eric. And then, of course, got some Purdue in there. So this is actually full of black and gold in here. Every time it gets to Sam, I try to tell Iose, that's a different black, and it's not a gold. It's like a yellowish, different yellow. So I remind him doing his recruit, doing that. But it was interesting going through all the official visit. All the coaches are in. They're in with 2 feet in their whole body. They're all in, lock in on this guy. They want him bad. All those 5 school I'm talking about, they up their money. They even upper their whatever they have. They upper everything. Everybody was doing that. But it was getting to the point. It was super serious. My man was stressed out in the way that we have to figure it out. How are we going to break this down to this guy to make sure, that he's going to do it for him. At the same time, we already spoke to him, told him, like we did to all the other kids. We love you, and then you do whatever is best for you, whatever you fit in. We love Iowa so much, but you pick whatever you're comfortable with, the coaches and the staffing and whatever you want. You do that. This is what we tell them way before we get into the last part of it. So it comes down to that. And then I made up my mind, wherever my son's going to go, I'm going to be his biggest fan, wherever that is. At the same time, in me, I'm worried. I'm kind of worried in a way. And all the stuff we did, we use it and trying to break it down into whatever is best for him. Talking to him, go through the whole recruiting stuff, go through our notes and everything, and trying to figure it out in the way. And then doing that. And then it comes down to the end, we're just sitting at the house. And I thought, for real, on my own, I thought he was going to go to Penn State. That's for sure. Our Penn State visit was one of the best. It was way better than everybody else. and the coaches and everything Penn State do and say, it was all right on to the point. And it was such an amazing visit up there in Penn State. I thought my man was going to go to Penn State. I was worrying the way, but I just pray and let him do his thing. Just pray a lot to help him make his decision. Whatever he's going to come up with, that's where we're going to go. And talk to my wife, and then we're excited wherever this guy's going to go. But somehow my man came, and then we were sitting in the living room, and he's say, just want to let you two know that I made up my mind. And here I am, like doing one of these, trying to listen. What'd you say? And my man says, I just want to let you, mom and dad, know that I made up my mind. I want to go to school at Iowa. I have no idea what I was expecting that from Iose. The thing about talking about, let's make it fair. Let's go visit all these schools to make it fair for you. You were always a Hawkeye kid, going through with your brothers and everybody, going through with me, just to go up there. I want you to make the choice for you. Make sure you're happy. I don't want you guys to come back and then say it to me and your mom that we force you to go to Iowa. That's why we hardly say nothing. We just want them to do whatever's for them. And for him to say that, and then really it caught me off guard that, man, I cried my ass off, man. I did. I was like sitting there, crying, shook my head. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you really serious? I was like crying, man. I'm like, man, this guy for real? I'm like, we were so happy. Me and my wife were so excited. Of course, like I said, I was cheering it up, super excited. It was cheers of excitement and cheers of happiness that he said that he's going to the University of Iowa is something really close to my heart when he said that. And I'm like, oh man, really? Oh, this is, and then it didn't get to me until later. I'm like, for real? You are? And he says, yes, Dad, I want to do this for real. And then we did that. We end up FaceTiming coaches and let them know that Iose have something to say to you, coach. And then he told Coach Ferentz, because it was, what do you call it? The dead period of recruiting when he decided. So he wanted to let him know now. I'm like, okay, we can call them and then see if we can contact them. And hopefully they can answer the phone, because it's a dead period. You're not supposed to talk to them at the same time. So we like FaceTime in after that and then let him know that what he says. So we put him on the phone. And then, of course, I started to talk to Coach Ferentz about it. That, Coach, me and Stephanie are sitting here and with Iose, and Iose wants to tell you something. And then he told Coach Ferentz on the FaceTime that he wants to play for him and go to school at Iowa. And super excited.
Coach Ferentz is like, what, you don't drive up no more? What's going on?
It was one of those period that you're not supposed to go see coach. You're not supposed to be in a facility, be in the area. So It's kind of like bad timing. So
hurry, tell him before he changes his mind. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Thank you. So it's one of those moments we need to contact somebody. We need to let the big dog know that this guy right here made up his mind. Let's take care of this. Another 4 years for Iowa would be awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Before he changed his mind, go back to Penn State. But I think the problem with the whole Penn State thing is that he was set. I think he was set. But what happened to Penn State, they were waiting on Iose for so long, they signed 2 more defensive end of his age. So they have 14 total. It was Iose says, man, I was proud of him because he was calling the D-line coach and tell him, so where do I fall this kind of situation, you guys just get more of the DNs, and I don't want to get buried on your roster. And then I get it, it's all about competition, but Iowa didn't sign anybody. Penn State signed a lot, right? So I'm like, okay, you figure that out. So he's been calling too. He was on the phone. Iose was doing this on his own. As we give him the idea, why don't you just, if you can't make up your mind on these 2, 3 schools, why don't you call the D-line coach and ask about what you need to understand? Is more better for you to understand on your own, asking what you want to know than go through me and mom. So he was calling Coach Bell. He was calling the Penn State coach. He was calling the Missouri coach and talked to most of these guys to make sure to talk to them, talk to the Miami coach. He was doing that on his own to find out where he come in and fit into whatever program that they trying to create it. And then he figured out this will fit him right here, and the possibility get him some playing time. And that's where he wanted, and he came in there with everything he's got. And then, like I said, everybody on social media always commenting and say stuff about, why don't he just come here? He's been like that kid for a while, but people don't understand behind the scene kind of thing that it's going through to make sure if this is going to be your world for the rest of your life, 4 year, 5 years, you got to make sure you're comfortable with the coaches. It might be comfortable with my older kids and my middle kids, and even though he hardly played, he's comfortable enough to don't want to leave. And then my younger guy, people was like, maybe he can automatically come, but they don't even know. You got to look at the fact that how many defensive end are they getting? How many defensive end of his class are coming in? Guaranteed they're going to be here, since the new world now is as soon as you come in, you don't want to be here because you didn't go in for a play, and now you're going to call somebody else. Hey, give me some more money, I'll come to you. But that's not the ideal way. But it was like that, and trying to make sure everybody understand behind the scene is not as easy as what they see. Most of that stuff you gotta make sure it fits your kid for his future, and this is what he wants, and make sure he makes the decision on his own. Most of the people are already assuming that we're going to Iowa, but they didn't know that it was such a stressful way that my man was crying because his uncle coached D-line for Miami. His uncle is the head strength coach for Utah. He's close, super close to the uncle at Utah, and so did the uncle in Miami. You got to understand something. Family's over everything, but it's not the case. It's what fit Iose, whatever fits Iose in his situation and then his time. A lot of things go by that in the past, but not this time. We even talked to him about whatever fits you, whatever you're happy with. It's not about me or your brothers or your mom, whatever. It's all about what fits you. See if you can communicate with all these coaches, your position coaches. It's because those are the people you're going to spend your life with when you get in. These are the folks that's going to, when you get in, those are the folks you're going to call, check on. If you're doing something bad, something good, these are the folks you're going to spend your life with. Lifting, there's 2 people that any program you're going to spend life with. You're going to spend with your position coach and then the strength coach, those 2. But like I said, those 2 uncles that he had, he was crying, telling them that he made his mind, because afterward we have to call them and make sure he talked to them, not me or Stephanie. He have to talk to them and tell them, I made up my mind. I made my decision to move on. And then I committed to the University of Iowa. And those guys that's what they do for a living, because they did an amazing job accepting Iose saying that to them. A lot of coaches, they don't want to end. They don't want to end the recruiting, even though we call them and let them know. they don't want to end. It's not over until it's over, Mr. Epenesa. And we knew going in to let him know that Iose is going to commit to Iowa. We knew going in. I knew going in that I'm going to tell him, no, listen very carefully. It's over. When I tell you it's over, I don't want no more stress on our son. I want our son to be freely on his mind and on his heart that you guys did an amazing job. But at this point, at this moment, I know there's a longer way to commit and signing, but as Yose's dad and us, he made up his mind and he's going to be a Hawkeye. So that's it. No more recruiting. That's it. Phone stop, everything stop, no more texting because my son is stressed enough right now. And then he made up his mind. So it was like that to his recruiting to all his top 5 school because everybody, some of them are butthurt. They're like, why not me? Why kind of like that? But at the same time, they're all professionally handle it in the right way. So they were, especially his 2 uncles, they were telling him, "We're happy for you and good luck. We were cheering for you and go Hawks." It was pretty cool how everybody was handling him telling them about him committing to Iowa.
There's a couple of guys we talked to that said the coaches they talked to when they told them they're going to Iowa did not take it well. And they were like, you made a bad decision. That was stupid. You're going to regret this. And they're just like, now I know I made the right choice. The way you're reacting to this and not being professional, I definitely made the right choice. Yeah, that's good to hear that he had that.
Yeah, a lot of most of the 5 school, his top 5, they did an amazing job answering him when he told them about a 4 school that he told, like Miami, Missouri, Utah, and Penn State. Those guys did an awesome job accepting that he just made his mind. And then there's 2 school on that list. I told them to stop because they said it's not over until it's over. Because I can tell my man is ready to move on because it was a long recruit. It was a longest recruit just trying to
years.
find him a home. So we're excited. We're super excited to go back up to Iowa for another 4 years, and we're excited to wear a different number too. So he's number 97. So we're super excited for that. I know that was LeVar's.
I was going to say, someone else is
LeVar.
97, yeah.
So LeVar was giving you a hard time telling him, make sure you wear that number with pride and you make sure you make it look good. Because that 97 was great. The last person who wear that, he did awesome. It's something like that in the way. So I thought it was pretty awesome. LeVar, I have to say something to him.
That's great. We're excited for him.
Yeah.
Decision, and he's going where he wants to and plowing his own path. I think all of us, like, we care about the kid more than we care about where he goes. It's all about them and doing well and getting the stuff they need to go through their life. That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, right? That age and high school and all this. So it's glad to hear you had good guidance going through it. You guys supported him. Like, that was great.
Iose reminds me of stories you've told about Robert, Nick, that all he was trying to do is just beat everyone else's record. And hey, I beat another record of yours.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. It's like the competition just unreal between the siblings and all the story that you were telling. And just a lot of those things are like, that's what sports is, right? It's with your family, it's with your friends, it's like people in the community. It gets a lot of bad raps at certain times, but that really, drove home the same thing of just, that's our family. It's, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you on this thing. Just even play like Mario Kart, right? It's like your Christmas break and your Mario Kart, and you're just like fighting to the death to beat your sibling because you don't want to hear them talk shit to you for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that was it. It was pretty fun to watch them grow. And then, of course, Iose was a little different coming through. My man's always want to compete against his siblings. Always want to beat them. Even the whole Iowa thing, that's another thing why he was doing that because my man didn't want to go to Iowa because everybody went to Iowa. He wants to do his own path. He wants to do his own thing, and that's what he was doing. I'm glad we touches every corners of recruiting and used the path we went because my man just learned that the people at Iowa are real, and those are the people that cares for him a lot. Even though we visit so many universities that everybody was the same thing. Everybody cares. Everybody was doing that, but something different about my man feeling when he even make his decision. We're excited and we're super proud and happy for him and what he's doing, and then hope he do amazing for Iowa.
Sure he will.
Yeah, definitely. The youngest ones are the toughest too, right? They've been beat on the most. I think we talked about my little brother John was like second in state wrestling just because he was so tough. I don't think he really knew how to wrestle. He just was like had been getting the crap beat out of him for most of his life. He's like, oh, I can. This is like another day at the farm. I can do this.
Recently, Robert was at the facility. I think Iose talked to him, and he called me right away. Hey, Dad, I just talked to Robert Gallery. I just talked to him. I'm like, that's great, son. His brother was like my own. I remember Robert came in as a tight end. He said, what? I was like, yeah, he came as a tight end. He was a skinny little dude when I first met him. Oh, you met him a long time ago. It's like his brother, his older brother was my friend. He was my teammate. And then I seen him, the whole family. I know the whole family just because I knew his older brother. And then he says, oh, yeah, he was here. He was talking to me today. It was awesome. This is last week. And then he also called me and said Robert and his son was at practice.
Yeah, Lincoln. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And it's funny, somebody we interviewed, guys we played with, they're like, what happened to your younger brother, the tall, skinny one? And I was like, that's Robert. They're like, what? They're like, yeah, that's Robert. Robert grew up in so yeah, it's funny, like they were stuck in that, like when he was a high school kid or
Yeah, he was a skinny dude. Yeah, I remember that first year he came to Iowa. When I saw him, it was like, man, it's so different now, man. It's so different. And he couldn't believe it. He also couldn't believe it. I told him that. Remember when he was coming in, he was a tight end. He was super skinny. So, yeah, it's funny to hear Yosef telling me about Robert. He also talked about DeFreeze, came in and watched film with him, Jared, and it was super excited to call me and my wife and tell us about Jared was going through the film with him and told him that he's doing the right thing. And then we see, son, those are the right folks to talk to you about what you do there. Is everybody else is speaking to you. Those are the right people to talk to. So you're doing great. So far, you're doing great. Just keep on working.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch the younger generations. I think same thing happened with AJ. I think I saw him like a handful of years ago when he was still at Iowa. And I was like, wait, I was like, this kid's 6'5". He's probably almost 300 pounds, like a full beard. I'm like, wait, used to be this little kid running around. We used to see him around. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that was the last time you saw him when we came up to those legacy camp. Yeah, when they were young.
Nice.
That was awesome. I was hoping you'd go through all that in detail and appreciate that. And just hearing the experience of going through your experience and then hearing your sons go through that and each making their own decisions. And I think that's really cool and more to be written with Iose. That AJ still has a long promising career in the NFL going on. Yeah, I think that's still a pretty exciting times for you, I'm sure. And pretty awesome figuring where you came from and what your family has turned into. It's really cool.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot of life lessons that people can learn through this and just perseverance and belief and those things. I think that's amazing. You've passed it on to your kids. I've seen videos of you working out these kids in Edwardsville.
Local kids, yeah.
Local kids and doing that. So yeah, it's great. It's great to see you pass along your love of the game and all that as well.
Yeah, appreciate that. It'll be good for these young. A lot of those is some folks probably thinking that we make a lot of money training those kids with my kids. We don't even charge nobody anything. We just ask them for a case of water and a case of little Gatorade. That's it. And then there's a man used to tell me, why have the knowledge if you don't use it? You got to pass it on to the next generation. There's quite a few kids that comes to us, and then a lot of folks ask me later on, you make a lot of money with those kids that you train? There's a bunch of them. I should, but I remember coming from nothing to see some of these people now charging the leg and the arm just to train somebody or teach somebody how to lift weight for an hour or two is a lot of money. Why do that if some of these kids don't have parents? One of them single parents, and they friend with my kids, and I invited them to come here for a reason. Just come here to learn how to work hard and find a father figure to what they do in their life. It's like we tell most of these kids here, they're not only here to learn how to play football, to throw the football or tackle somebody. You guys make your decision to come here to join my kids. So I'm going to speak you guys. I'm going to train you guys the way I train my kids. I'm going to talk to you guys the way I talk to my kids. If you guys don't like it, don't come back. It's because, but everybody comes back after I put everybody in their place and make sure they're doing the right thing and teach them. If you guys in your home, you're going to behave when you go outside of your home like that. It's good for some of the kids that show up to us on the way, because there is a lot of children nowadays, they don't listen to their parents at all. That's the thing. If they hang out with my children, I want them to act right to their mom and dad too. I want them to listen. I want them to pay them. So most of that stuff is because I want the best for these kids, and I want the best for mine. I want them to hang out with good kids. We don't want them to go with kids that do a lot of bad things. So it's the whole reason why we do those extra running during the summer.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. Sir, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abby. It's great talking to you.
Hey, it's great talking to you guys. All right. Thanks for having me.
See you.